Today is June 5th, 2024, and tomorrow is a great day in American history, D-Day. But this week, like many weeks before it, was not a great day for American men's tennis. Our two best players once again lost out in the early rounds of a Grand Slam tournament. Frances Tiafoe lost in the second round. Taylor Fritz lost in the fourth round. So this will bring us to the question very soon, what's wrong with Americans' men's tennis? Again. American men used to dominate the professional tour. From the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we had the top players. We had Connors, we had McEnroe, we had Lendl, we had Sampras, we had Courier, we had Agassi. Together, these players won 41 Grand Slams. Well, since 2003, since the last American to win a Grand Slam, Andy Roddick, the last 20 years, American men have won 0 Grand Slams. So there really is something wrong, but what is it? Before I give you my answer, let me tell you this story of a young, ambitious young karate student who went to his master and said, "Master, how long before I can become a black belt?" And the old master says, "If you work 2 hours a day every day for 5 years, you'll become a black belt." The young, ambitious student didn't like that answer. So he said, "Master, if I work 4 hours per day, every day, how long will it take to become a black belt?" And the master said, 10 years. And so the students both mystified and angry with that answer. He says, "Okay, what if I worked 8 hours per day, master? How long would it take to become a black belt?" And the master said, 20 years. The student walked away muttering, said, "I'll choose something else." So the moral of the story is that if I were the old master, he would say, if you approach something with an attitude of quick success, of skipping the steps of learning, it's going to take you longer to reach your goal. In essence, this is my answer to why Americans' men's tennis is done so poorly, is that we have a system that's geared for quick success, but not long-term achievement. Now, what I'm criticizing here about American culture and the tennis establishment here also affects other countries. So it's not like this is America's problem alone, but since I'm an American and we have the biggest problem, I'm addressing it here. So what is the essence of this problem? It's that our whole system of development, from kids to juniors to recreation to professional, is oriented towards quick success, to quick achievement of status and rankings. And then getting to the top, at least we top within our society or our culture, and then finding out that once we really get to the top, that we can't compete as well. And we have this recurring pattern of our top players rising to the top and then falling below. Frances Tiafoe, for example, is our latest. He reached a ranking of 10 in the world. Well, now his ranking is 29th. Taylor Fritz reached a ranking of 5 in the world, and now his ranking is 12. So what happens when we have a whole development system oriented around quick success is that we run out of gas as we get up into higher levels of skill. TV commentators like John McEnroe are always raving about what a complete game Carlos Alcaraz has and what a complete game Jannik Sinner has. And they do, and they have great games, and they have great all-around games at a young age. So what is it that they're doing that we're not doing? But I don't want to focus this critique of quick success culture just on the professionals. It pervades the whole system down to the beginning tennis players and the teaching organizations. So we have all these programs in which we're encouraging kids to just get the ball over and get it over the net, have early success, have fun. That's the dominant theme. Our teaching and development systems are in the establishment, people are worried that the kids will be bored unless they have early success, that they'll get disappointed, that they'll get tired and quit. And the same goes with recreation players. If players are not having enough fun, then these organizations are fearful that they'll get to a 3.5, 4.0 level, and then they'll get bored, and then they'll choose another sport. Well, maybe like pickleball. But don't you see that with this approach, we're defeated before we begin? If we're trying to sell tennis on the basis of having fun, then we're never going to be successful. These other disciplines and other sports that we're talking about appeal to being the hero of your imagination. You don't talk about fun if you're becoming a student in karate, or you want to be a concert pianist or a ballerina. Fun doesn't really come into the equation. They're appealing for people to be the heroes of their imagination. We are appealing for people to be the pretenders of their imagination. Pretenders are all about quick success, and if they don't have quick success, they're on to the next thing. Well, maybe something like pickleball. So I'm saying, and I'm sorry to be so direct and confrontational about this, but nothing seems to quite get through to the USTA, that if you're trying to sell tennis on the basis of fun, you might as well change the name of your organization from United States Tennis Association to the United States Pickleball Association. And for those that would counter my thesis and say, well, if there's something so wrong with Americans' tennis development system, how come the American women have done so well? Why has Serena won 23 Grand Slams? Well, my answer is I don't think that the development system in these other countries is that much better in women's tennis than it is in American women's tennis. But I would also say that the criticisms I have about emphasizing early success and quick fun also affects American women and their development system. Too much emphasis on that and not enough on long-term skill development that leads to greatness. The solution for American men's tennis has been staring us in the face for at least the last 15 years. There's been a whole series of books written about a generally accepted methodology for improvement, validated by hundreds of studies. It's called deliberate practice. And in the notes below, I've listed my 11 top favorite deliberate practice books, and I encourage everyone to read them. And to my viewers who are always asking, why are your instructional videos so darn long, Kim? Well, my answer is that it takes a long time to develop these skills and to become an expert at anything. It takes 2,400 hours of experience of flying before you're qualified to fly a commercial jet. It takes 3 to 5 years of training before you get a black belt in karate. So there's a path to development that we have to follow in order to get expert skills. So what would be the opposite of this quick success methodology and mindset? I would point you to the last great American male player, Pete Sampras. So developing as a player, he and his coaches weren't worried about their status as junior rankings. There was a long-term goal to win a Wimbledon championship. And when he lost his junior matches, which he quite often did, he would come to the net with a smile on his face, and he had the nickname Smiley, because they were looking at the long term. And eventually Pete did win his Wimbledon championship. In fact, he won 7 Wimbledon championships and 7 other Grand Slams. And when he retired, he was considered the undisputed GOAT tennis player. So if Pete is ever watching this video, I have to say to him, well done, Pete, and thanks for telling us about your journey. All I can say is we didn't listen, and we're still not listening. So to all the tennis American organizations that govern how we develop players, I would say that to you that this orientation to quick success is like orienting ourselves around what I call Fun One, which is sort of a superficial entertainment and temporary mode of being for people, and that we really should be orienting towards something that I call Fun Two, which is the joy and satisfaction you get from actually improving and learning and developing a skill level to a high level. That's something that meets the aspirations of the human spirit. So my message to the USTA, the PTR, the USPTA is let's get off the Fun 1 bandwagon. Let's get off the quick success bandwagon and focus on Fun 2, the long-term satisfaction and success that we could get from developing our skills to the highest level. If we do this, then one day, 1 week, American man will win his next Grand Slam title.